Okay.
You got it all fixed, and then
I
it's
got
time for me to quit and go fix that table. clean that table.
He hasn't even started cooking.
Yeah, but
He just started.
I know it, but we'll eat it. Whatever.
Don't worry, Mom.
Okay.
Okay, so we've got some questions here
Yeah.
from Lindsay. She says, "Can you tell us about Grandma Aura's house? I have memories of it when I was very young." Can you tell about the root cellar? How the root cellar came to be? You just told me a few minutes ago.
The root cellar was supposed to be our hideout or our place to go in case of a storm or something. Because we had moved from Rock Springs when a terrible tornado had gone through there and did so much damage. And then when, of course, we moved to Petite, my dad was always worried about something happening again, and he wanted to be prepared. So one of the things he did was to dig the, well, it was really, we called it a cellar, but it was big enough to stand up in, and we put some chairs in and to take care of us in case we had to go down in there, in case a storm came. Luckily, we never used it because the storm never came at that time when we lived there.
Do you remember the water tower, the water tank?
Yes, yeah. The old water tank when I got there was a mud hole, and it was just really.
No, the one on stilts, the tower. The water tank that collected water for the house.
Oh. That was from a water well.
Oh, was it?
That was from the water well to fill the tank that watered the house.
Mm-hmm.
But we used had a cistern in the yard that he fixed to have water, rainwater, filtered, and we used that for the house use.
Mm-hmm.
That is for all of our drinking, cooking, and using in the house.
Mm-hmm. Well, what was that tower tank for that was out in the yard next to the barn? Remember, you had it torn down. The one that was up on stilts.
Oh, that was the water. That was the water tank for the stock and the outside
Oh.
Water tanks to feed the cattle and goats, whatever we had.
Oh, okay.
So that's what that big water tank was for. But we didn't use that to drink because the water was really kind of rusty like. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
It was not the best for drinking.
Mm-hmm.
And we used the rainwater that was filtered through an apparatus that he set up in the yard.
Mm-hmm.
That all of our water to the house went through it. I mean, the drinking water that we used to cook with.
Mm-hmm.
So that was from rainwater. The water was not.
Yeah. Do you remember why you tore that tank down? The one that was up on stilts?
Because the water well wasn't working good enough. The water was not clean enough.
Mm-hmm.
And I was able to get a new water well dug,
Mm-hmm.
and with better use for the to fix for the stock.
Mm-hmm.
and the outside use.
Mm-hmm.
And we were able to use it because I put a machine on the well.
A pump?
A pump to be able to use the water from the well, and not the tank because it was falling down, and later we tore the whole thing down.
Didn't you see some kids climbing up on that one time? Probably more than one time.
Yeah, there was always somebody climbing up there on it. They could find a ladder that would get them up there. And they were always afraid that they'd fall.
Yeah, yeah. So, Stacy wants to know, how did Stillman get his name, Tootsie?
And that I don't remember. I just don't think we ever talked about it, or if we did, I don't remember it.
Well, he was already named Tootsie when he came to live in your family, wasn't
Yeah, we always called him Tootsie.
he? Okay. How did you get started painting?
Well, I always wanted to paint, and the first time I went after I graduated from high school and I went into San Antonio, I was looking for an art school to get into and also a place to live. And so the war was beginning to get started and people began to get jobs and work. Mm-hmm. And I heard of a family that had 2 boys that wanted someone to take care of. And I thought, well, maybe if I lived with somebody and took care of their kids or whatever, then I could go to night school, and that would give me a little income plus a time for school.
Mm-hmm.
So I found an art a gallery that I could go to at night, and I started doing my sketching and drawing and stuff, mostly pencil and charcoal at the beginning.
Yeah. Okay. Miriam Stephan wrote, I loved Aunt Alvis like a second mom. She was such an encourager for me after my mom died, and coming to Texas in the summer and at Christmas was such an oasis for me. She often talked about her family, and I think she mentioned that someone had written a book. I have better resources to search for a copy now, but now I have forgotten. Do you know anything about the book that was written about our family?
No, I don't. Different ones wrote different pieces here and there, but I've never heard of a book being written. It
seems to me that I remember a book about coming from Rock Springs, Edwards County, or something like that. Maybe it was the Edwards County.
Someone could have written a story about it or something, but I don't remember ever seeing any folder or book about it.
Could it have been maybe The Ordways by William Humphreys that she's thinking about? It could be that one.
Well, she could be.
I'll send her a note about that.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what else anybody else asked. Do you have any funny stories? This is from Lindsay. Funny stories about Doug or Dusty? I mean, not Doug or Dusty. About Uncle Howard or Dusty?
I don't know. We were always joking with Howard. He was always a fun thing.
Was he?
Yeah, he was always a lot of fun. It was always like the rope and ride, and he was a good auctioneer and worked good around the cattle and stuff.
Yeah.
So he was a fun place, and when I moved out there, I worked with him off and on at the stockyards because I enjoyed hearing him and could laugh with his jokes and his things he did too.
Yeah. Do you remember when he passed away?
Yes, I remember when he passed away.
Why don't you tell that story?
Well, I went to see him. He was, I stayed close, and since I was living out there then, and so I would stay real close with Kelly and him, and so one evening, I decided I need to go over. She said that he is really getting bad and they need someone to talk to, someone, and I decided to go over and visit him, at least to see how he was doing, which I went a lot, but this time she kind of wanted me there, and so I went and we sat and I started talking to him about our lives, how we'd lived and all, and he would just sit and kind of grin and didn't say much, but he just kind of grinned and remembered all the funny things that we could think of, that I could think of to tell. And then I thought, then she's told me, said he's getting kind of tired, and that I told her I would say I would wish him his best and say good night, and I'd see him tomorrow, or whenever you need me, I'll be here. And then I left, and then I found out that he died that night. After I left, she said he just went to sleep and didn't wake up.
That's after you talked to him?
After I talked to him, yeah.
So you were the last person?
As far as I know, I was the last person that talked to him.
And he was smiling when you talked to him?
Yeah, he was smiling, yeah.
That's a sweet story. A sad story, but that's a sweet story. Okay, so Ruby asked, how are you?
Ruby,
Ruby Scudder. I think that's Brittany's mom.
Oh, okay.
I think.
Well,
so she says, how are you?
Well, I'm doing pretty good. Trying to reach 100 years old, so I think I'm stretching it a little bit, but I can still walk. I can still take care of myself. And I had been doing everything for myself until I decided to come here to Marietta so she could help me. But I'm doing really good. There's nothing really wrong with me other than everything's just getting old. I'm just sort of wearing out.
You're walking a little slower.
Yeah.
But when you use your walker, you walk at a normal speed.
Yeah.
I think you're unsure.
When I'm without the stick, I'm unsure.
Yeah. Yeah, but when you have your walker, man, you're scooting all over the place.
Yeah, I can still keep on going up.
Yeah, because we walked, we went shopping today.
Yeah.
We went to Michael's. We walked all over Michael's.
Yeah.
And
we did a lot of walking today.
Yeah, went to a restaurant. And, yeah, and you walked all the time. I don't push you unless you just have to
continue to walk.
How do you feel your cognition is? Your thinking, or your reasoning, or your...
Well, I don't know what to think, or what I should do. I keep thinking, what am I supposed to do? What should I do? And I'm trying to get some of my stories together, but that's not easy.
Yeah.
There was a time when I wrote a lot of stories, probably threw them all away. But anyway, so some were good and some were not.
Well, that's why we're trying to record your stories now. So.
Yeah, so Marietta's trying to hear more of my stories and see if she can write some of them down and tell something about
I'm recording them.
The life that I've had.
You've had
which is a busy life. I've been everywhere and done everything. I don't know of anything I haven't done or tried.
You know, now that we're both getting older and you're getting older, and I look back at what our lives were like. I do not know how you did everything that you did. Mm-hmm. You had 4 kids. You worked. You built onto the back of the house. You made our clothes. You taught us how to sew. You taught us how to cook. You baked cakes, decorated cakes, and worked full time. I just upholstered furniture, refinished furniture. You sent us...
I took a course in that.
In everything.
Yeah, I found a school for everything to be sure I did it better and did it right.
Yeah.
I went to the art school. I went to upholstery school. I went to the plumbing school. I went to the
You went to plumbing school?
not to not to. I'm trying to think. It wasn't the plumbing. It was to refinish furniture and stuff.
Refinishing furniture.
Yeah,
okay.
that's what I'm gonna say.
Didn't you take a carpentry class too?
Yes, a carpentry and furniture refinishing course. Yeah, so that I could do my old
Own
furniture,
building and your own furniture.
do it where it looked new again.
Yeah. When did you have time for all of this?
Well, I just made time. I don't know how I did it, but I did. I didn't sit down much,
No.
that's for sure.
The other thing I was thinking about was all the lessons that we took. I mean, we all went to school,
Yeah,
but then we took art. I took art lessons outside of school.
yeah,
We all took music
yeah,
lessons, and I took dancing lessons. You had us ballroom dancing.
yeah.
And I went to the Evelyn Wood speed reading course. So all of those additional
true.
things that you did for us
Yeah,
were, I just don't know how you did it, and I'm so appreciative of what all you did.
yeah.
And I don't think we've really remembered all that.
Yeah.
I'd
Well,
like
I'm trying to give the kids as much as I could to show them so much of life as they could probably find what to do to take care of themselves, I guess,
Mhm.
and
Well-
maybe to help take care of me too. Probably.
Well, here I am.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, because we traveled all over Europe. Not
Yeah.
only did we live in Europe, but you had the tent and the camping and all of that.
Yeah,
And then you built on additional to the tent so it'd be bigger.
yeah,
And we really had a unique life. And you made it unique for us. You added so much to our lives. And I'm now appreciating it so much more than I did before. I think because now you and I are being able to talk and go over memories and things like that, and we kind of calm down a little bit, don't have so much stress, and relaxing, and all these memories are coming back.
yeah.
And it's really a beautiful thing. You did a great job.
Well, I really tried to do my best, and I can, every time I found a school that did something, if I could get into it,
Mm-hmm.
I would do that to learn a little bit something better.
And you did that for us too.
Yeah, I did that.
For us, I mean, it was just everything was a learning
Yeah,
experience.
yeah.
We never
The
sat
more you could
around
learn, yeah.
being dumb.
That's right. That's right.
We were working.
Yeah,
I think Douglas told a story about he was building something or working on something, and someone said, "Oh, your dad must have taught you so much," and he said, "Oh no, it wasn't my dad; it was my mom." And that's I think part of who I am is that I knew women could do anything. You could do anything,
yeah,
as far as I knew.
yeah.
And so I grew up, well, women can do anything. Probably got me in the, I turned out to be
I think that was when Douglas was fixing his fence in his yard, and
Mhm.
someone said, "Oh, you're lucky to have a father to help you learn that." And he said, "Well," he said, "I can't say this, but he said it wasn't my father; it was my mother. She's the one that did that taught us how
Yeah.
to do everything."
Yeah. Daddy did a lot of book learning. And
He was the Uh,
A walking encyclopedia.
yes. And a lot of times he'd give me the instructions and get me to understand them and be sure that I understood them
Mm-hmm.
before he turned me loose. Before I started another project, he wanted to be sure that I knew which way I was going.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Well, anything else you want to talk about?
and say I just enjoyed my life of doing as much as I could wherever I was, and I know some thought I was crazy for always moving, always doing something different, always, but I had a good life, and I just hope that everybody understands that I love to work.
Well, you do, and we're getting you more things to do. You're starting back up
Yeah, that's
with
right.
your art. We finally got all the brushes and the right paper and stuff,
Yeah,
because
but-
I did buy all that for you, but
yeah,
then I didn't exactly buy the right things. But we went to Michael's today and we got the last of the correct stuff, so you should
Yeah.
have some good
yeah, good
paintings
shape then.
pretty quick. Okay, well that was a good one.
Yeah.
I love you, Mom. You just you,
Thank you.
you're just doing great. I'm so
Yeah,
proud of you.
I'm trying.
You're just doing awesome. Okay, bye bye.
I better go clean that table off upstairs.
Okay.
That's what I better do.